my dark corner of this sick world.
Well, that's the first pleasant idea I've heard this evening.
This week's film is The Monolith Monsters, and uniquely amongst films we've reviewed, its biggest problem is its title, because there's no monsters.
That's an interesting idea.
What we have instead are rocks from outer space, which grow when they come into contact with water, then fall over, shatter, creating more rocks which grow, and so on and so on, destroying everything in their path.
You're absolutely right. It's ridiculous. But that's what they said about the wheel when someone first thought of it.
There's also something about them turning people to stone, but I didn't really get that bit.
Doesn't make much sense to me either.
And sidebar, if a major part of your movie is people turning to stone,
their bodies are turned to stone.
You've got to have at least a vaguely realistic way of showing it. Back to the point. There's no monster, no devious intelligence, just a chemical process. You know what that is?
I don't know, Martin.
It's brilliant.
I can vouch for that.
What's scarier than a chemical process? It can't be killed, it can't be reasoned with. It's an absolute, unemotional, unstoppable, relentless.
Chief, those rocks are going to come crashing through here like an avalanche over an anthill.
And despite this being a B-movie, it's actually very well realised. Of course there is a but. How many B-movies have you seen where you're only watching for the monster because the hero is so blandly tedious that you can't bear to watch him another second?
If it's dull or statistical, I've written about it.
Now imagine that monster is a rock.
Yes, Chief. Yes, Chief. Right away, Chief.
I'm the first one to complain about all-action heroes sneering at science, but a geologist hero is problematic.
Chert, feldspar, pyroxene, almost all the olivine group, flint.
Stop listing rocks!
I used a base of silicic acid, uncut, CMC, glucose, DB, and monochloroacetic acid.
Stop listing chemicals!
Polar outbreak moving down from Canada could conceivably give rise to an area of extreme cyclogenesis, which in turn could develop into...
Friend!
See, you get annoyed when someone else does it.
They're still activating.
The problem with having rocks as bad guys is that the fight against them becomes a series of discussions in offices and laboratories.
Doc, you must have found something.
And what makes this worse is that at the center of these discussions is Dave Miller.
But if Ben's death and the rock had something to do with each other.
And his professor.
There's an old professor of mine there, Flanders.
Stupid Flanders. The two dumbest scientists ever.
It's killed or injured everyone who's come in contact with it.
And yet they keep handling it.
See any difference?
Different color?
You don't need to be a scientist to see that.
Not heat, not electricity, not the simplest catalysts.
The answer they're looking for is water. Any scientist's first answer to any natural process.
It was only a little chip, but what made it grow?
You still can't figure it out. It just happened right in front of you.
But are you positive that you wrote down all the ingredients in Dr. Hendrick's formula?
Later on, they're given a formula for retarding the rock's growth. And after fruitless hours...
Our one chance is that maybe a combination of all the ingredients.
Oh, you want to try the whole formula? What a novel approach.
Well, whatever gave you such an idea?
What they've been doing is the equivalent of trying to put yeast in the oven and expecting to get bread out.
In science, there are no guarantees.
Only when they've exhausted all other options do they try the thing they should have started with.
Well, at least that's a good idea.
Of course, all this is to stretch the film's length, but that's exactly what it feels like.
You don't miss much, do you?
And it's infuriating, because it's a good idea that's been made tedious.
And how long have we got to unlock its most important secret? 3 hours?
Boy, I hope not. If you've got a film you'd like us to review, leave a comment below. And don't forget to subscribe.